Hello again, everybody. Look at this, a blast from the past. Not just the Kiss creations, but we actually have the Bendy creation. It was the first one that I did. Man, that would have been, 2017? I have that right? Anyway, cryptozoologist. That was actually the source object that we started with when we made Bendy that first time around. But this time we're going to be making Bendy kind of according to the Bendy in the Dark revival. You could say Little Bendy, Baby Bendy. You know, I think that Baby Bendy seems to be more popular, right? So anyway, the cool thing about this, like last time when we made Bendy in Scribblenauts Unlimited, again, that was like 2017, we were essentially attempting to hide the torso of the character, right? Like we were making its own torso with like a golden egg or whatever. We're obviously doing things very differently now because we do actually want to see a little bit more just clothing and detail right here. This is going to be sepia tone, you know. I think that, of course, I should say, as somebody who still hasn't, there's been a lot of work, you guys. Pokemon Scarlet Violet came out. I have a kid. I have jobs. I have YouTube, 3 channels. I think y'all know the drill. But anyway, the point is I haven't finished watching, I haven't finished playing anything for Bendy in the Dark Revival from start to finish all the way. So there's some things that I've looked up and just some things clearly that I still maybe don't know entirely about. But we do get to see him like in actual color, right? Not just sepia tone, I think. But anyway, we'll just create it the sepia tone. It's cool. You can pretty much use this design though if you do decide to go with a colorful Bendy version in living color, right? So just like what an amazing amount of memories I could go through. But first, ladies and gentlemen, right here we're gonna click into the properties editor. This is where you can edit the health and the behind the scenes stuff and some of the stuff that's not so behind the scenes, like what your character sounds like, you know, the voice of it and whatnot. Lots of things. But when we get here in this series, I like to read background information and fun facts, so let's do this. I think it was definitely worth it to cover Bendy again here and create it again here in Scribblenauts Unlimited, not only because of the successes that I saw on my channel all over the place from Bendy related creations, man, and all those memories I just mentioned, but largely because it's so cool that the Meatly and team have come out with this new game after all that time. Bendy in the Dark Revival. Regarding this Bendy that we made here, I actually haven't played through or watched, as I said, all of, like at the time of this recording, haven't seen it all to see the entire game start to finish, but I know that a fun fact was that the voice actress for Audrey apparently calls this Bendy by the name of Baby Benders, right? We obviously see a lot of people saying Baby Bendy or Little Bendy, so I've just basically done both. Many of you guys know this if you watch the series, but of course Scribblenauts Unlimited, it does actually have a limit. I know, it's called Scribblenauts Unlimited, but you have a limit to how many of these things you can put on to make a character. So like each of these little design aspects that we're placing down are a stamp, and of course the game having a stamp limit means that we have to make the head and the body separately for characters most of the time. Like we recently created Blue from Rainbow Friends, and that was one where you didn't have to do like the head separately from the body. But anyway, just consider it basically a loophole to get around that stamp space thing. And so there's gonna be a lot of detail coming down here, but we are making the head and I guess the body in some ways, but the head especially is like very similar to the Bendy that we made of the past, but there's certainly gonna be some distinctions. You know, it's not like we just carbon copied everything, and of course we are going sepia tone. We're doing a lot of different things. Namely, of course, you see sort of, it would be like where a widow's peak is for a human, but basically just in the middle of the head at the top. You know, it's not so much the middle, like the ink splattered, I guess, on Bendy's head, like a little bit to the side. So we have reflected that right here, and looks like we're finishing some things up. You guys, there's gonna need to be some adjustments too, of course, but before you try to place the head onto the body of your objects or whatever, make sure on the head object here, you check off this circle. It says can be worn on the face like glasses. So you fill that in, and then look at this. It's not always gonna appear like it should. In fact, 9 times out of 10 it won't. So this is how you fix that, right? You go to the body object, you edit these grids. So you just turn that button on, you can see it at the top left. But yeah, basically just move that grid where that head is supposed to go. And when you type in toy train, this is what happens. So I wanted our little Bendy to be playing with a toy train. It clearly cannot, because that train was like a full-size train. So I do want this little toy car. Instead, it's gonna be sepia tone, and here we actually need to make our Bendy not be still anymore. There it goes. So the script works exactly as I'd imagine. It's gonna be playing with the little car. Now, if only we could do this, but Scribblenauts Unlimited, again, with its limits, you cannot. We can't make it turn into the giant ink Bendy. And that was just mean. I just threw his car. I'm sorry, Baby Bendy. So our little Bendy, it's obviously, if you wanted to make it, perhaps, I guess, like fit in with the like old design of our Bendy, maybe you could make Baby Bendy even smaller and whatnot. Like, obviously, these are created at very, very different times here in the series. Like, you know, 2017 to now, we're basically talking like a 5-year gap, maybe more. But definitely, you guys, please feel free to click an end screen on screen, see some other Bendy stuff of the past if you never did. did. So I'll catch you over there, and thanks for viewing.
I've been down the road of twisted